This is a View from the Bridge, official podcast of the Belfast Giants for kingdomofthegiants.com. Today is Tuesday, the 19th of August, 2025. My name is Patrick Smith. I'm joined by the Belfast Giants statistician, Mr. David McGempsey. It's just the two of us. And in the next hour or so, we'll be looking at all the news, views of the Belfast Giants as we go into pre-season and a whole lot more beside. We're on YouTube, X, Facebook, and you can also get us on all the really good podcast providers. If you're watching on any of the platforms, drop us a line, whatever, and all that sort of stuff. Drop us a review or 5 stars, or if you want to give us something on like and subscribe on YouTube and that sort of stuff, that all helps us, and we'd be very grateful to anybody who does things like that. Coming up in this week's show, well, we're going to be joined by the captain and the coach as we look ahead to the 2 games against Stavanger and look over the team as it stands. Mr. McGempsey, it's just the two of us tonight.
Just the two of us. Yes, mate. Loving the t-shirt there. Carson, the man who divided Ireland, as they call him.
Carson City.
All right, okay. You stand up. But yeah, good to be back.
Start back with a bang.
Start back with a bang, mate. Indeed, yes. It hardly seems feasible or possible that this is the 20th year we've been doing this, and wow, my goodness, it's gone past. Been a lot of fun at times. It's been a pain in the backside at times, and but we're very, very fortunate that we get to do what we do. So love it.
Yes, as of October, this will be the 20th. October will be the 20th birthday for a View from the Bridge. We'll no doubt we'll mark that when it comes. We did the 500th episode. We'll do something for the 20th, but we'll work out what that is when it comes around. How's your summer been, mate?
It's going past fast, to be honest with you.
And a very happy birthday for last week.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago there, had a lovely couple of days with some people that I care about. So it was nice to spend a bit of time with them.
It's what are we going to say the age, mate? Are we going to say the age now?
Nobody would believe it anyway, so it's pointless.
Yeah, 50 years young, Mr. McGempsey.
Hardly seems possible, and I don't even think it's true. So
did you take the helmet off and wave to the pavilion when it came?
Oh, I have actually. Somebody did put that on my big book, to be fair. But yes, less said about my birthdays the better. Move on.
Well, it is like we're coming into pre-season now for the Belfast Giants, and obviously the 2 games against Stavanger before we fire into the CHL, which is what's
pre-season for us too, mate. So if this is rusty, it's pre-season for us too.
Unfortunately, because it's pre-season, because there's so much going on, Mr. Kitchen is very busy. We're trying to get everything ready with the Belfast Giants organisation for what is no doubt going to be a great season ahead. And normally we get Marty to come and join us, but he's at a gig. So, that's fine. I think you and I can get on with what we got. What we'll do, mate, is we'll start off just by looking at the roster as it stands for the Belfast Giants. Let me just bring this in, because obviously as I try to do that, it all stalls. There's your ring rust now. The Belfast Giants have more or less fulfilled their roster as we go into these games against Stavanger. The goalkeeping trio of Jackson Whistle, Andrew Dixon, and Alexis Gravel. Haven't worked out.
We're not even going to talk about that. We're just glossing past that, are we?
No, I'm going to fire through the team first of all, and then we'll have a chat. Bo Hansen returns, and he's joined by Reid Irwin and Sam Jones, who of course joined us when we all got together back a few weeks ago. Rhodes Mitchell-King coming in once again on a 2-way. His brother, of course, is now also signed for the Glasgow Clan, Austin. Garrett McFadden is a new name on the D. Mike Lee back in the lineup. Kel Beatty on a 2-way, Gabe Bast and Josh Roach fulfill the entire D-core for the Giants. When we look at the forwards, there's 3 names that we know very well. Ben Lake, Scott Conway, and JJ Pickenich, champions all back in Teal. Marcus Ericsson played a bit of CHL last season, gives us some veteran presence in the forward line. Carter Hamill, another bit of local representation on a 2-way. And the Gooch, Jordan Kawaguchi, back as part of the Giants. Jake Godet, a new name for the Giants. If you were on our socials this week, Sis had a great chat with him. David Goodwin, going to be joining us very shortly. And Patrick Grasso, the cousin of a former Belfast Giant in Patrick Mullen, is in the forward line. Speaking of family, Brandon Whistle joins us and joins his brother in Teal. Ryan Smith, the second man named Ryan Smith to play for the Belfast Giants, potentially the second man named Ryan to wear the number 88 for the Giants. It's all convoluted stats that I may have just plucked out of my head. And
by Big Ryan Martinelli also worried yet. Yeah.
Yes, it does. I can't think of anybody else. And Kieran Long back for another season of the Giants, and there's no picture yet, but Nicholas Gray, who played in the ECHL last season, fulfills the team. Davy, good bit of balance on that side. The proof of the pudding is in the eating, of course, but the side's looking good.
Always fun at this time of year to speculate as to what might happen, but I remember listening to Fish. Oh mate, I'm talking doing this maybe 15 years ago, and he was going, yeah, you need to give 10 games or whatever. Obviously we've got a friendly or exhibition game this weekend, followed by a few games of CHL before we get into domestic action. But it does look a nice balance for back there. Strength, there's size. You talked about Marcus Ericsson. They're 6'1", 200 pounds. He comes with a lot of experience as well, and it'll just be interesting to see how we'll line up in those little groups of three. See if we can get a little bit of chemistry going early, and I'm sure the guys are looking forward to getting into some proper action as well.
Well, let's get straight to that. We're joined straight away by a man who this season will regain the captaincy, and delighted to be joined as always by David Goodwin. How are you doing, Goody?
Hey guys. Happy to be here.
Turn your 90 degrees if you can.
All right, let's see here. Sorry.
I've got a T-shirt. Where's the T-shirt? I've got a T-shirt that says that now.
I'm moving this somewhere more. I'm moving somewhere more appropriate. There you go, up at the top.
How's you going, man?
Great. Yeah. Everything's going well so far. Just getting into week 2 of camp, and everything seems to be cruising along.
How's your summer been?
It was great. Yeah, I mean, it was probably the first time I've spent significant time in Northern Ireland, and I really enjoyed it. It was a good combination of relaxing, being outside, also obviously training hard. So, it was a good time.
You came back obviously mid-season last year, but you've decided you're back again for another year. Was it a tough choice to be back in Tail, or was this a slam dunk?
It was a slam dunk at this point, Patty. I love it in Belfast, and as I've said on this podcast, I don't know, 8 times, I really view Belfast as a second home. So I'm delighted to be here.
Didn't we put together a big long video of all the times you said you go? Must find that out again.
That was class. Yeah, I think that was after my, as some of the fans call it, my holiday in Spain.
Yeah. It was quite fun doing that, because it was David Goodwin has signed, David Goodwin has left, David Goodwin has signed, David Goodwin has left. But we're delighted, Captain, to have you back again. And I've really enjoyed, as a Belfast man, I've enjoyed watching you over the summer doing things in the community away from hockey, using, I suppose, your profile as the captain of the Belfast Giants, the nursing, all that nursing home stuff, and all that gets me in the field is because of my wee granny and all, so it's, thank you, I suppose, first of all, but is that enjoyable?
Yeah, I would say it's a combination of enjoyable, but also, I think, Davey, you made a good point. Like, shame on me if I'm not going to use my pedestal, as an ambassador, for the city for good. And so I do enjoy doing that stuff and just do what I can to put a smile on, in that situation, the old folks in the nursing home.
And let's get back to hockey and the C back in the chest, back in that leadership. Not that you weren't involved in the leadership group when you came back. You don't need a letter in your jersey, I'm sure, to be involved in that leadership, but that gives you a little bit of extra pride, I'm sure, as well.
Yeah, I think, like I've said this before, I feel like naturally I'm at my best when I'm in a leadership position. I think that was one of the things the last couple seasons, because I would come in around Christmas. It was always a little weird, because I wanted to be kind of a voice or, a leader. And you're right. Like, I was able to do that to an extent, but yeah, I think, starting from the beginning of the season this year, it feels natural. It feels right. And like I mentioned at the beginning, it seems like everything's, getting started off on the right foot so far this year.
And before Paddy comes in, one thing that we sort of end up reiterating on this podcast at the start of the season is, for the new guys coming in, you have the opportunity to tell them how important, like, Challenge Cup games in September are. These guys maybe haven't played in Europe, haven't played in the EIHL before, maybe don't get. If you want to host a final in March and all the gold that comes with that, you got to go to Fife and do a job in September.
Absolutely. This league, it is so unique in that sense. I really believe it's truly like nowhere else in Europe. We haven't quite gotten into that conversation, but it will be coming, regarding how important every game is. Because yeah, like we saw it last year perfectly. Like if you want to host the Challenge Cup final, you need to be playing great in September in Fife when Toby's reffing,
Oh dear.
And hi to Toby.
I like Toby. I'm not.
Who doesn't? We all do. We all love Toby.
All love Toby.
Yeah.
No, you've played in Poland, Finland, Sweden, Spain, as well as of course back in America. But like this is a very transient sport, and like the rosters change and change and change. One thing about this season's roster is there's quite a bit of retention has happened. Yes, there's a lot of, as always, there's a lot of different faces in there, but it feels as if we've retained a lot of key personnel.
Absolutely. Obviously I give Steve and Adam a ton of credit for that. Like they've really kept a core intact that I think other teams in the league would kill to have. And I also give the Northern Irish women a lot of credit for that as well.
As always, the key recruitment tool. So that's the way it goes.
Yes.
Always the way it goes. And congratulations to you in that respect.
Yeah, thank you. Shannon and I are delighted. We got engaged back in June, and we are very happy. So thank you.
You talked there about camp and about you guys coming into camp, and obviously there's a lot of preparation going into this Friday and looking ahead to the season. Did you get a chance to ice over the time, or is there a lot of just trying to play catch up? Because you see a lot of guys, you talk to them and they're all like, I get some ice from time to time, but they come in and it's basically you have to spend these 2 weeks to try to get up to speed.
Yeah, no, we had a pretty good crew of guys that were here over the summer for the most part. So we were skating at the Ice Bowl. Certainly when July hit, we were twice a week. And then, towards the end of July, we were 3 times a week. So no, we were staying pretty consistent with it.
And then obviously camp, as you say, we're in the second week of camp, David, and only a couple of days away now before I hit the ice. And we'll say in anger, proper games as such as Exhibition R and then hot in the heels is CHL be coming. That little trip to Switzerland, 4 or 5 days, that'll be a little bonding trip as well.
Absolutely. I think that stuff is so important. Like I want us to be obviously a close-knit group, and little trips like that. It's irreplaceable. You really need, stuff like that, getting away, just the guys, to kind of come together.
And saying that, you've had a little bit of that over the last few days, climbing in the morns, and I see a bit of paddle, which is the new fad. Everybody's playing paddle these days. You can't get away from it. I know Davy's had Davy, you love a bit of paddle, don't you?
I played paddle earlier today. Love it.
Davy, I have no doubt you could find your best partner to play paddle, and me and Marcus Erickson would take it to you. I have no doubt. Whatever you want to put on,
we'll get a game this season.
Whatever
sometime.
You want to put on.
But it seems that these climbs and doing things like that, you've mentioned it yourself, they're so important, especially when you get the new guys coming in.
Absolutely. I mean, it was just an awesome combination of hitting some adversity. I mean, that sleeve down there, that's no joke. And then, but also having a bit of crack after a few Guinness. The weather, as you guys know, was great this past weekend. It was great. Laura and Simon do a great job planning it. So it's just a perfect way to kind of go through camp.
We'll not keep you much longer, mate, but a couple more things. One of them is one of the last times I saw you myself was just after the fabulous weekend we had for Keefe and of course the hospice hockey. Give us your reflection on that weekend, because it seemed it was just great fun.
Yeah, I don't think anyone really knew what to expect going into that weekend. We had a dinner on Friday, and then obviously the hospice, and then Keefer's thing on Sunday, and it was just great crack. I mean, everyone was just in such a good mood. It was really neat on Saturday meeting all those celebrities. They were great crack. There was no one being, oh, I'm higher prestige than you. There was none of that. It was just everyone kind of coming together for a great cause on Saturday. And then obviously Keefe's thing, I think one of my biggest takeaways, well, two things. It was much better hockey than I thought it was going to be for a testimonial. I mean, guys were really giving her, like they wanted to win. We were coached by, Pete Russell and Corey. And I mean, we were trying to implement, a strategy to win those games. And then secondly, a lot of those ex-Giant players, they still got it. I think about Saviano. I mean, that guy, I feel like could be on the Giants right now. So it was fun to see some of the older guys, come back and really give her.
We talked about it. It will be of no surprise to you, David, that an Adam Keefe testimonial was competitive. That's one thing for sure. But you talk about Sal and Chris Higgins, Kyle Bond, all look like they could play. Jeff Mason, all look like they could play. A shift in this league, absolutely no problem. But I seen today, or it might have been yesterday, Adam handing over the final check, £129,000. Like this club, this organization just continues to excel in the community.
Absolutely. I mean, I think playing for the Giants is so much more than, being an ice hockey player. The role, the opportunity is the word I like, to really be impactful in the community. That's what's really special about being a Giant.
Well, on that note, mate, listen, we really appreciate you coming on. Obviously, we'll good luck for this Friday. Hope that we get from it what we want with regards to getting the team together and getting the team gelled and look ahead to the Champions Hockey League. And good luck this season. No doubt we'll chat to you. Don't worry, we might change the whole idea of a 0 point weekend. We bring the captain on. We'll have a talk and we'll see where we are on that.
I don't know, David, if you saw, obviously, hopefully it never became a tradition because it didn't happen very often, but the captain was called on. In hard times, the captain's always called on, and you always came when they answered the call. Same with Coops, always answered the call. But we had a 4 point weekend, and he came skating off. I think it was in Coventry.
It was in Coventry.
Skating down the tunnel straight to me. Get me on this week then. Get me on this week. So, it goes both ways. So success comes the captaincy, and sometimes you have to answer the tough ones as well.
Absolutely. And ultimately, hopefully at the end of the season, I get the privilege of hoisting more trophies. So
let's go.
Let's go, man. Absolutely. Thanks, David.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
See you soon.
Yeah.
Big thanks to the captain, David Goodwin, for coming back on the show. Right, we're going to bring in our next guest. I don't know. He's been sending me messages here saying he can't see me. So if he can't, or I'm freezing. But so I don't know if my Wi-Fi is going. I might have to drop out and come back and leave him with you, Davy, and you can have a chat with him. But let's see where we are. Delighted to have back on A View from the Bridge as we head into the new season, the head coach of your Belfast Giants, Adam Keefe. Can you see me?
I can see you. You ain't moving, and you sound like a robot. So you guys are tripping me about my Wi-Fi.
I can see you.
I can see you, Connor.
Can you see me?
I can't see Adam at all, but anyway, I can hear him.
Can you see Davy?
Is it maybe my internet?
Potentially. Anyway, how's your summer been?
Summer's been good. Obviously, we've had great weather, so you can't complain about that. We packed a lot into the summer, but obviously it's flown by, and here we are, ready to go for another year. It's exciting.
Have you had much time off, or had the opportunity for much time off?
We had some time off there before the testimonial. Obviously, we were preparing a little bit for it. And then obviously you're recruiting throughout that. We got away to Spain there for a little holiday after the testimonial with my parents and obviously my family. That was great. And then since we got back, we're just kind of preparing for the start of camp and for everybody to arrive.
And it's all good, Coach. Now we're well into camp, and the end of this week, the games start again.
Absolutely, yeah. I don't think it. I mean, obviously, like the first week's always a little bit of chaos. Like I'm throwing a lot of information at them. Everything's new for the majority of guys. There's some rust involved, obviously, with trying to get the probably the men's league skates out of the guys. And then obviously they're fatigued as well. So, and the ice is always chopped up when you're practicing that hard for that long. So I think that near the end of the first week, we started to feel a little bit more like a hockey team, probably. And then this week, I think it's going to get more and more real each day as we move on here. Stavanger's just arrived today. They practiced tonight at the Ice Bowl, and then they'll be practicing before or after us all week long. So it'll start to feel real, especially when we get back into the SSE. And obviously, Friday's going to come fast.
And of course, you can't do this on your own. And I seen the PR just a couple of days ago there. George, Stu, and Mace back in the office with you.
Yeah, it's great. Obviously, great support group for myself. But I mean, they do so much to help me along, and I've learned a lot from all those guys. So really, it's like I said before, it always takes an army. It's not just the coaching staff. We've got a great off-ice staff and obviously a great group of players on the ice. And obviously, like I said, it takes an entire army to make this thing, this machine move. And, so we're starting to get the wheels turning.
There are a whole host of questions I'd love to get into with regards to recruitment and the team as they are and also what we want from the games against Stavanger. But before we get to that, let me just bring you back to, you probably heard the quick conversation we had with David Goodwin, and let's bring you back to that weekend in June, because it was fun. As a spectator, it was a lot of fun, as you said, but for you and your family and everything that you gave a fantastic speech at the end. But give us, on reflection, a couple of months down the line, when you look back at that weekend, your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, it was probably everything that I wanted from it. I wanted some of my best friends back for it, some of the best teammates that I've had here in Belfast, and guys who just fell in love with the city like I did and did a lot for this. I mean, I thought, if you look at the group that was there, you probably a good portion of those guys probably themselves could have a testimonial, and everybody would turn up for it, right? So, it's nice to have, for me, like that group of people back, not just for myself, but for them and for the off-ice staff, yourselves, to get to see them again and reminisce and share old memories, because, we've been talking a lot about the journey to a trophy and how it's not really the trophy that matters. It is the journey where you learn a lot of things, and that's where your memories are made. And, so there's a lot of years where we didn't reach that trophy, but there's still some great memories and some great teammates, the guys that did a lot for the city in those years as well. And I think it's important that we continue to recognize those players and bring them back. And, when you have a weekend like that, I thought it was great with the charity game. Kind of pulls everything in together what the Giants are about. And I thought the returning guys, they have to have a weekend of hockey again, and I think that's cool. To revisit that. Obviously, I'm very lucky that I get to kind of live this every year, the closest thing I can as a player, being a coach. But there's a lot of guys that have stepped away from the game and are doing other things. And so for them to get back here and, have all those memories and those feelings come flooding back to them playing in front of 6,000 fans, I mean, that's pretty cool for them as well. And obviously my parents, my brother, my sister, some of my family from Prince Edward Island coming back, some of my close friends from home. Like I said, I couldn't have asked for a better weekend.
What was it? I'm always intrigued by the idea of people who have never been to Belfast, and of course, there were some high profile hockey people there, in the likes of Mike Richards and Dave Clarkson, your brother, who maybe have not been and maybe not just seen what we have in Belfast with hockey. What was their reaction? Did they share with you like positives?
Yeah, they loved it. They probably had similar feelings to myself. When I first came over here, I was expecting, if I'm honest, I thought it was going to be average hockey and an average arena,
done all ice bowl
with average fans, and I was completely blown away with the fan support from day one that I arrived. The arena itself and the quality of hockey and the quality of league, and I guess just the whole whole feeling of the elite league. You know, it really is a hidden gem in European hockey that players that come here absolutely love playing over here. And Belfast is at the top of that list.
I think you have to take a certain amount of responsibility for that as well, coach, and building the culture in Belfast. Like when you did come in, crowds weren't just the same, and they were tailing off as well. And then the team started, you know, everything comes with success on the ice, I guess. And since you've been in Belfast, it's been a sort of roller coaster of success. And then the hundreds of games behind the bench. And we've been very blessed with the amount of trophies we've lifted and the amount of banners we've raised. So I think you have to take your own sort of role in that seriously as well, as much as the EIHL is a hidden gem and all. I think there's been a lot of that down to Adam Keefe too.
Well, I appreciate that. I mean, obviously, like I said, I'm very lucky to become part of this organization. Number one, the years I played here, I loved playing here. I loved entertaining the fans and trying to bring trophies here. But, you know, I think there's some pivotal moments, like obviously coming in here and learning the history with Jim and where the club was to where it was going. And then ultimately the trust taking over and bringing in Steve Thornton. Those are two pivotal moments as well. You know, where Steve's done an unbelievable job behind the scenes. It doesn't get enough recognition for what he does. And he's been a huge support system for me, especially me as a rookie coach coming in. You know, for the guys who knew me as a player, probably wasn't going to be the easiest transition for me. So I did need a good support system, and I needed a good general manager like Steve and a good group of guys, ex-teammates to kind of help me along in those years. And then obviously, like I said, the reinvestment into the club from Robert Fitzpatrick and the Odyssey Trust. I mean, those things are what propel us forward. You know, those things last a long time and help us in making this place feel a little more professional, which drives the standards and the excellence of the players up. All right. And those are the things that we keep striving for. We don't want to stay standing still because everybody is trying to get better every single year and everybody's chasing those trophies. And we have to continue to do it no matter if we win the trophies this year or not. You got to continue to try to get better next year and keep improving the club.
And it all starts on Friday. It's full steam ahead now towards the first games, and then CHL, hot in the heels and that, and then Challenge Cup.
Yeah, that's the beauty of winning. You get more games, you know, and the quality goes up, and that's great. But yeah, we are certainly hitting the ground running this year. It's a lot different, and we had that conversation at the start of camp that for anybody that was around last year, it was a bit of a slow burn into the season last year, whereas now we're sprinting into the season, and the quality of side that we're going to face right away is going to be top notch. You know, and Stavanger's usually in the Champions League themselves, so they're going to be no easy feat, that's for sure. And it's going to be a great challenge for us going into that level of competition. I expect them to be fast, and I'm familiar with their imports, and I know that they have some Norwegian national players as well. So, you know, it's going to be top level competition this weekend, and hopefully we get off to a good start and we get some real good clips to learn from, because, you know, on Thursday in Champions League, it's going to be probably another level and another pace we're going to have to reach.
And as you've said, with the success of last season comes the likes of the Champions League. And if everything goes well this season, we could be touching, I don't know, close to 80 games, I guess. So that's a lot for a squad to go through.
Yeah, don't tell the players that. No, like I said, I mean, you know, in the NHL, they play 82 games in the regular season.
Yeah.
And then if you want to win the Stanley Cup, you probably got to play another 20, 25. Yeah. So, I mean, the reality is the more you win, you got to play more games. And that's just part of the business. So for us, managing it as best we can, you know, try and fight off injuries and also, you know, try and give the players as much rest as possible when we can get it to them. It's difficult because you're still trying to get guys into top-notch condition as well. So you're trying to find that balance. We pushed them hard the first week. We'll probably pull back a little bit this week and in preparation for Stavanger.
A couple of quick questions, if it's okay, just about recruitment. And we mentioned it to Goody earlier on. I can't remember the last season where we had so many returning imports or retained players. There seems to be quite a good core of players who have come back for yet another year. Obviously, that's pre-planned and stuff like that. But you must be happy with the guys who were more than willing to come back.
Yeah, certainly. We've become pretty used to probably almost a half a team turnover. It seems like most years. I'd say this year's a little better, but still was quite a bit of turnover. That being said, it's nice to get new blood, new energy in the room. That's come here to win, right? And it kind of keeps driving, and everybody keeps pushing each other. It's going to make us all better. So, good group of returning players that really care about putting on that jersey and understand what it takes to play here and what it takes to win in this league. And also a good group of guys coming in that are hungry to win, and hopefully they can push each other and we get back to the level we need to this season.
Did you get everybody you wanted?
Sorry, say that again. I couldn't hear you.
Did you get everybody you wanted?
Did I get everybody I wanted?
Yes.
Well, I mean, it's a long summer. There's a lot of guys I wanted throughout the summer, but yes, we're very happy with the group we got. Like I said, recruitment is a crazy thing. It starts probably a month before the season ends, and probably doesn't end until the day everybody arrives here. So it's a long one. It's a grueling process. That's why there's a bunch of us behind the scenes doing it, and help out and try and get the best team we can. And we're very confident and very happy with the group and right now. And obviously we're just excited to see them, compete against somebody else other than ourselves in practice. So I'm sure that, like I said, as the week gets going and we get back in the SSE and we see our competition on the ice, things are going to get a little bit more real here for us, and that's exciting.
One of the only intricacies, obviously, of this league is the limited number of imports. Mean that everybody's searching for those key British players, those key homegrowns, and obviously you brought in Sam Jones, you've brought in Brandon Whistle. We have Scott Conway. How difficult is it to get in and try to convince some of that top British talent to come to us, or because it is a very limited pool?
Yeah, it is a limited pool, obviously. With Sam having left and went to Europe and coming back last year, there was an opportunity to bring him in and make us a little deeper in that department. Obviously, I know him a little bit from Great Britain national team, and he's a great player. He skates well. He can play physical. He can add to the offense. He can do a little bit of everything so it's going to be great to have him. And then obviously Brandon, wanting to play with his brother and obviously the experience he's had in Belfast before, thought it was time for a change. And that's obviously nice to bring him in here and reunite the Whistle brothers as well. It's a pretty cool story with Dave and Jackson and Brandon kind of coming full circle here and ending up back in Belfast together. It's probably the deepest British core that we have had in quite some time, I would say. And as a result, that makes us a pretty deep team as well.
And one last question before I let you go. Like I say, the weekend in June was fantastic. Did you see any of the boys out there and you think to yourself, maybe we could get another year out of them? I'm thinking of like Kyle Baughan or even Steve Saviano, who seemed just not miss a beat.
There was one guy whose number was 26, and he retired.
Too soon.
I think he was trying to get a pay raise or something in that testimonial game. But no, I mean, let's just touch on Coops there before we get off. I mean, certainly. What a leader he was for us and what a pickup he was for us. I think it was 4 years ago. I mean, they don't make him like him anymore. He's, to me, he is irreplaceable. I don't think we've got a guy that can replace everything that he did for this club. I think we've got lots of guys that can help do that this year. But I mean, he was great for us. It's an unbelievable human. I know him and Goody are the best of friends, and was a great dynamic that when, Goody had decided to take some time off, Mark came in, was a captain, and then David came back and he was assisting him, and it's come full circle again. So I'm not surprised that they ended up being the best of friends either, the way that they are both great leaders and great teammates. So, I mean, we wish Coops the best, and we'll probably see him back in December. So see how that goes. But, outside of Coops, obviously, yeah, I mean, there was lots of guys that out there on the ice I thought looked great. I thought Higgy looked like he didn't miss a beat. I thought Saviano looked like he retired yesterday. And, Bonner looked good as well. Blair Riley looked good. I mean, I think Kevin Surratt in the charity game had a handful of goals as well, which was surprising considering the shape that guy's in.
I enjoyed the comedy boos for Blair Riley as well. I think he enjoyed it as well.
Oh, he definitely did. We knew that might happen, and I think we had a bit of fun with it. It was also nice to see him get I think he was the only team that scored, or the only player that scored on Dicko there in that final game. So everyone seems to make fun of me that I missed all those penalty shots, but the other team
I went on and on.
The other team was trying to score on Dicko, and they couldn't do it. I think it was only Riles, so I think Dicko went 8 for 9.
Yeah,
to get that win.
A brilliant weekend. Listen, we're looking forward to this weekend coming against Stavanger, and obviously the CHL and then into the season proper. It was a great weekend. It was good to see that elbow pad flying through the air once again. And we appreciate you as always, you coming and joining us, and we look forward to chatting to you through the season. But yeah, good luck this weekend, mate.
Sounds good, guys. Thanks for having me.
Big thanks, as always, to Adam Keefe, coach of the Belfast Giants, for joining us. And we spoke to Coops in the last show, Davy. But there you go. It shows you from the coach himself. A player he probably didn't want to lose.
No, I don't think anybody. I don't think any coach in this league have had the opportunity to have a Mark Cooper, clutch player. The player we've talked about can sometimes put a team on his back and pull you through to an unlikely victory. And when you're up against the odds, Coops has done it all for the numbers of seasons he was there. Richie deserved that C in his chest. Led by example on and off the ice. Just a great guy from a great family, and he'll be. Adam has said himself. Our coach has said, irreplaceable. On his own, you have to recruit 4 or 5 guys that do what Mark Cooper does. That tells you everything about. But I was so glad to see Coops get his opportunity to hoist trophies as a captain in his own right. That's something that his first season as captain didn't work out for him. Great to see that trophy above his head in the NIC, and gives me goosebumps thinking back to him. We've had so many good times with him. Who knows whether we'll have more good times with Coops. We always said when Goody left, that was the end of an era. But, these eras sometimes come back, and we'll be very fortunate if that happens again.
And it was great to have a chat with him. He's, like you say, a born winner in regards to what he had with the Belfast Giants, being able to lift those trophies, second to none, and then having Goody alongside him when he comes back in. And it's good to see Goody back as captain again. Once he came back into the lineup, I think that was a no-brainer with regards to having Goody as a captain. The experience with the team, the leadership that we know that he can bring, the trophies that he's won with this organization in the past. Yes, we have experience in the likes of Marcus Ericsson coming in. We have all this, but I think when it comes down to it, if David Goodwin's starting the season and Coops has moved on, then David Goodwin returns to that seat.
Yeah, I think
David Goodwin wants to.
Yeah, I think when you talk about leadership, and many guys through that roster have great leadership qualities and have led in other places, but to come to the EIHL and already have that experience of leadership, it's a completely, David Goodwin talked about there, it's a completely different beast where we could play 80 games and all 80 games mean something. Yeah. Because this and we'll the 20th season of saying this, 2 points in October is as important as 2 points in April. 2 points in the Challenge Cup, if you want to host a final, are so critical that there are no nights off in this league. It's intense. I have no idea how Adam and his coaching staff cope with the stress of potentially 80 games that there's no dead rubbers. Yeah. Towards the end of the season, if you've had a season like we had under 80 where you've won the league in February, or they're the only times you take lead, and then risk with that is that you tail off and you can't get it up again for the playoffs or whatever. So that just the intensity over 7 or 8 months, it's just phenomenal what these guys have to put themselves through, trying to stay fit, trying to stay healthy, trying to stay away from illnesses and bugs, going around changing rooms. And, you know, it all starts this Friday. I'm excited. The break has done us the world of good and, you know, ready to get stuck back into it again.
Before we just come on to that, one of the things you mentioned one of the things we didn't touch on ourselves earlier, but one of the things you did mention to Adam is that coaching team with George Awada, Jeff Mason, and Rob Stewart alongside him, and it can't be underestimated. You know, that's a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge, and a lot of help to Keefe himself.
Well, the been there, done that factor is crucial as well. You know, they've all done it as players, first and foremost, so they know what it's like to be a player in that locker room. They know what it's like to go through those dog days. They know what it's like to win important games in September, all 4 of them.
Yeah.
You know, and Mace has had a little bit of coaching experience away from the Giants. So as Stewie, obviously years ago, Stewie, you know, he's been here forever now, but his experience is just for Adam to be able to lean on that. You know, Adam's building an unbelievable coaching career himself. 7, 8 seasons now. I can't even put my finger on it without looking it up there. But, you know, the number of games and trophies and success speaks for itself. But to have that back, he talked about, you know, it needs an army, but it needs key personnel. It needs key leaders in the office as well. And Adam, George, Stewie, and Mace, you know, are a great team on and off the ice. There's a lot of analytic stuff done there as well by those guys, and a lot of talking to guys off the ice. So we're very, very fortunate to have. I know not every team's blessed to have the depth of a coaching talent that we have, but, you know, that can only stand us in good stead going forward here.
And an interesting weekend ahead to Norwegian. We've spoken about Norwegian opposition in Stanger Oilers coming in on Friday. Well, they're in already, but the game's on Friday at 7 p.m. and then on Saturday as well at 7 p.m. at the SSE Arena. Tickets still available. Get yourself down there. But it's interesting is these preseason games ahead of the visit of the Swedish teams coming, or sorry, Finnish teams coming the following week. But it's what you want to get from these games. You know, the guys have been in camp for 2 weeks. They're looking to go into these games, and the coach is looking to see, you know, chemistry. He's looking to see if the lines are gelling. You know, it was something I was thought about asking Keefe, but he, you know, probably you know, not right to whether you get an answer or not, but whether you have a conversation with your opposite number, because they obviously want something from us the same way we want something from them. We want some sort of, you know, a good opposition. We want good attack. We want to be able to, you know, test ourselves against in certain ways. You know, it's interesting what we would want to get from these games.
You'll want to get legs. You know, they'll want ice time. Everybody will want a bit of ice time, but we only have to go back to the chat with David Goodwin there about Adam's testimonial. There's no such thing as an exhibition game or a night off when you're coached by Adam Keefe. So reminds me of last summer when we played the Cardiff Devils, and obviously you want to put markers down against. We played GB as well, didn't we? Or
yep,
I played GB in Cardiff and then played Cardiff here. Am I right?
Yeah. It's a year ago, mate. Yeah.
But 2 hard-hitting games, and I remember like
a little hockey since then.
Ben Lake and Gabe Bass trying to hammer each other. So get the competitive juices flowing, get legs under the boys that haven't skated as much as maybe some of the other ones, get the goalies involved in the game. It's just, these will be competitive exhibitions, like, because we're straight into CHL action, and that these are our only 2 sort of against other opposition. You know, it's all well and good playing against yourselves in the Ice Bowl or whatever, but the meaningful game, these scavenger games will be meaningful because we have to hit the ice running on the following week against the Finnish teams and then over into Switzerland. So it's coming thick and fast here. We've got to be ready. So I'm sure Adam will just, the boys will just have to go hard for 60 minutes in both games.
You ever been to Stavanger?
No.
It's dead nice. It's like I went there many years ago with a former girlfriend. Just put it that way. Who you know. But it's the
whoa. Roll up there. But I know her name.
But it's a nice place. The little, I see it like on the edge of the fjords.
Former girlfriend, former
wife.
Oh right, okay, yeah, I do know who.
There we go.
Yeah.
Now you know who I'm talking about. But yeah, really nice place. Really nice place. Maybe if we had a bit of an away visit there, I would have enjoyed a trip out of Norway. Expensive in Norway, though. Have you ever been to Norway?
Bristol's expensive, mate. Don't worry about it. The world's expensive. We just have to live in it.
You're all booked up for going to Switzerland, aren't you? Oh, well, I thought that was in the house.
50%. I've booked flights there. You might just move, mate. We'll see how it goes when we get there.
Staying in Zug. Well, listen, those two games against the Wenger this weekend are on Friday night at 7 p.m. and on Saturday night also at 7 p.m. Get yourself down there. See this brand new Belfast Giants squad as they go into the season, into the CHL season, and into the new season, looking to retain that Elite League title, retain that Challenge Cup, and get after that playoffs. Mate, we're going to leave it at that. Big thanks to David Goodwin and, of course, to Adam Keefe for joining us. We'll be back next week, hopefully with Sis joining us to look over those two games against the Wenger. You can get us, as always, at AVFTB on Twitter/X. You can get us on Facebook and all that normal sort of stuff, YouTube, and you know where it is. Good to see you, mate.
And you, bud.
And we'll,
too early for a rally call, isn't it? Too early?
A bit too early. Don't think I'm up to it yet. Don't say I'm up to it
yet. I'm looking forward to this season with great anticipation. It's Adam mentioned a little bit something there about winning trophies and hanging banners and all, more about the journey and the way. And like over the last number of seasons, I know we talked about the number on the birthday cards behind me, but as I've got older, it's become so much more important about the journey as well. And it's all well and good. And I desperately want to win every trophy we enter, desperately. But love this club, man.
Yeah, here, mate. Couldn't agree with you more. And on that fantastic note, wherever you are this weekend, we hope you enjoy your hockey. And we'll catch you here next time. One of you from the bridge.